Choose your destiny. Flawless victory.
What's going on, guys? LordKing here again, back with another Dragon Ball Super review show. Let's go into it straight away. We have the gang all at Capsule Corporation talking about Frieza and what's going to happen. They basically all find out Goku has promised to revive Frieza, and as you can imagine, they all go crazy, especially Krillin. Krillin, being the scared person that he is, always goes a bit mental whenever he finds anything out about Frieza. We then get to see a very, very cool scene, which we haven't seen before, this odd sort of telepathic link between Universe 4 and Universe 9, I believe, the Gods of Destruction. They're basically planning to destroy and take Frieza out of the tournament in an attempt to make them only have 9 members and hopefully get them disqualified and basically have their sort of universe destroyed. So one thing we get from this is Universe 4, the God of Destruction, is incredibly manipulative. That's number one. Number two is also, I'm questioning as if all the Gods of Destruction can do this telepathic link, because it is a very, very cool thing, and hopefully we can see a bit more of it later on. We then get to see a very, very cool thing with Vegeta. Vegeta's always this sort of hot and cold character where he has his funny, angry moments. He tries to play the cool sort of not interested dad sort of thing, and then when he does play the dad card, then it's kind of it's done in a funny sort of way. And as you can see in the little picture that we have here, this is his inner self wanting to burst out, but he's trying to restrain himself, as we all know in real life when you want to say something but you can't and you try and hold it in. That was a funny scene. Goku then he basically asks Trunks to go with Goten to 17's island. As we all know, Android 17's island is going to be left with the poachers, and he tells them to go over there. We see a very, very cool scene with Roshi where he's basically training up in Korin's tower, and he does a move, the lightning flash surprise attack on Yajirobe. Now, what I noticed from this is it seemed relatively weak, simply because it was done on Yajirobe, and Yajirobe was only a little bit hurt by it. He wasn't really dead or put out of commission from it, so I think that was one thing. It's relatively weak. Maybe the move wasn't done for power, so don't take it from that. It may maybe not be a move done for power. As Roshi did mention, it would be quite good for almost holding people in place, especially with elimination and things like that. It'd be quite good, and I believe the Mafuba evil containment wave, that sort of move, they could be quite good for a tournament where elimination is the key. We get quite a touching moment where Roshi reminisces about his original training, where he first trained and stuff like that. And obviously any scene with Roshi, as you expect, will always end funny. It will always be a hilarious sort of scene where for a moment, he looks like he's going to jump off the top of the tower. And I thought, what sort of plot hole is going to be here where he can now fly, and we've never seen it before. He then basically clarifies that he can't fly, which is a good scene to see. Universe 9, Sidra, the God of Destruction. They say they've seen Frieza on GodTube. We always get the GodTube references now. It's starting to annoy me a little bit that they use it a bit too much, and for some reason there's this endless supply of people's profiles and things like that. So we see that on there, and they're basically talking about Frieza, saying he's a very evil character, and they basically plan to assassinate him. 17 and 18 reunite. We see them with Krillin there in a very awkward sort of scene where Krillin takes Goten and Trunks to the island, and 18 is there with them as well. It's an awkward thing. Krillin's trying to make conversation, and basically they make friends, I guess, Krillin and 17. But then the odd part I took from this was 18 was fine with leaving Marin on the island with Goten and Trunks, which, I don't know, it was quite weird, to be honest. So what I'm expecting to happen here is, during the tournament, these guys are going to have a sub sort of plot happen where these poachers are going to attack the island, and Goten and Trunks are going to defend it, and Marin's going to be involved somehow. They may maybe kidnap Marin, or maybe she's going to be the person that actually defeats them in the end. Something crazy like that is exactly how I imagine it going. That'll probably be the subplot. There's a very, very good moment when the Warriors, they basically arrive back, 17, 18 and Krillin, they arrive back at the Capsule Corporation, and they're all waiting, watching, and Piccolo is there. And as we all know, Piccolo had one of the best fights in Dragon Ball history with Android 17. They basically walk up to each other, and they look like they're going to fight, and I got almost goosebumps here, thinking they were going to fight again. Almost a friendly sort of spar in a respectful way. But then they shaked hands instead, which is also equally as good, I think, shaking hands. It was quite a nice thing to see. Then we get the bits that we're sort of waiting for, the Frieza. We get an incredibly evil vibe whenever Frieza is around, which is the thing I absolutely love about it. It's not a quirky sort of feeling, it's not a weird one, it's a really, really sort of evil feeling when Frieza is about, which is the best thing they've done with Frieza, the fact that they brought Frieza back and kept that sort of evil feeling about him, instead of making it a sort of kids sort of weird revival, really pansy sort of Frieza. This is a good Frieza they've brought back, and it seems to be working quite well so far. So there's a quite a funny thing where they punch each other, almost as a mutual respect sort of thing, saying their hands slipped and they punch each other, which was quite funny. The assassins arrive, and Frieza basically kills one with a death beam. Again, as I mentioned, I love the fact that Frieza still has this evil sort of streak about him. It's quite a good thing to see. Frieza then goes into his golden transformation, which, wow, this was one of the best ways they've done this transformation in a hell of a long time. This is how it should have been done in the Resurrection of F, Revival of F, whatever it is, that movie, Frieza movie. This is literally how it should have been done. It was one of the best sort of transformations we've seen in a long time, going golden. And again, we have that sort of crazy god music that we always hear, and it's just a great it was great. It's the best thing they've done in a long time. And that's how all transformations should be. It was very, very epic. It sets up incredibly well for next week. Next week, obviously, as you can expect, the assassins, they're going to fight each other. They're going to fight them. It's going to be Frieza and Goku probably teaming up, actually. We may get to see a little bit more teamwork between them, actually creating a bit of relationship between them, how they're going to work together and things like that. Frieza's probably going to be killing a lot of them, and Goku won't be too happy with it. We see quite a cool scene where Seadra basically comes out of the water, and we're assuming he comes out of the water and fires a blast at Frieza in an attempt to take Frieza's life himself. Now, this could be a thing where he basically gets his team disqualified from the tournament because he's seen in another universe doing something dodgy, or whatever happens, or maybe it could be a setup for him and Beerus are going to fight because Beerus finds out, which would be absolutely incredible. I hope that happens. I haven't seen the spoilers, so it's something like that could happen. I'm not too sure yet. But I really hope it does, because that would be absolutely incredibly cool, and it'd be a great thing to see. Again, I haven't seen any spoilers yet. I know there are spoilers out there, so something could happen, but I'm not aware of it myself yet. That wraps up this review, guys. Let me know if there's anything I've missed down below. Stay tuned for a UFC review coming soon, and also online ranked random battles tomorrow. That is everything. Please, as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Goodbye.